earnings preview. 16 million is what Simply Wall Street is projecting for 2021. If you divide that by 4, that's going to be 4 million roughly each quarter. We get 4 million to stay on track for that. We don't necessarily need it, but that's pretty much what you would need. So these guys, Earnings Whispers on the other hand, 2.8 million in revenue. That's their first quarter projection. This is the most reliable source out of these 3 sources that are pretty much all dissenting, right? Weeble's got something completely different. Market Beat's got this, and they don't have a revenue estimate. Earnings Whispers, this is what they have. So 2.8 million. I'm just going to assume right now, you can go do the digging and fact check me on this all you want. 16 million is what these guys are projecting. I'm projecting 21 million without even factoring in the 2 laboratories that made commitments, 2 large laboratories, to quote the article, in the UK that made commitments to buy the Sapphire and its consumables. Along with, I'm also neglecting the Africa Sapphire adoption as well in this estimate. So by that measure, you can say that this is fairly conservative, right? If we were to get 21 million in revenue, so you would need an average of over 5 million a quarter. This would be absolutely, I mean, it would be very hard to hit this projection getting 2.8 million in a quarter. So if these numbers are at all reliable, we can assume that it's going to be much higher than this. With that being said, don't mistake me. If you're just going to watch the first part of the video, please hear me out. If you want to say, Brandon, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, hear me out. There are several contingencies, all right? Several contingencies. Just because the revenue is going to increase, earnings per share could go down because operating expenses match the rises proportionally to the revenue increases, right? Of course, there's 1,000 contingencies and things that can go wrong. But based on this, that's Simply Wall Street, not me. Simply Wall Street is projecting an average of 4 million each quarter, roughly, right? Implied, right? I mean, come on, you're not going to project. Some quarters are better than others historically, but on average, you got to stay around 4 million a quarter or higher to meet that. So given that, 2.8 million just seems a little low right out of the gate. Now, of course, this number can change. Remember, last quarter we got like what, 5 million or 4 or 5 million in revenue was quarter 4 2020. Quarter 1 2021, this is what they're projecting, like, you know, very, very low compared to our last earnings report. So given that, already you have a case to be made. We already have made the case that this may be a little low. Maybe, right? Maybe. Of course, earnings, you want to call it gambling? Brandon, how are you projecting the earnings? How are you getting these numbers? There's no way, my friend. There is a way. We did the due diligence. We did the digging. I promise you. I will put a card on the top right now for you to go do that. I've got the timestamps, YouTube chapters, Google Doc available for PDF download or just viewing like I'm doing right now in that document right there. So I'll link it in the description and the pinned comments, my friends. Need to know stuff. More evidence, believe it or not, in supporting the synthesis that I'm not necessarily making. I'm just telling you some facts. I'm just telling you some of my opinions. I haven't told you my total opinion yet. We're going to get to, at the end here, my thoughts on what is actually more likely. But we're saying the facts right now. Need to know stuff, right? We've already established that it's pretty, this may be a low ball. That's what this may be undercutting it a little bit. Maybe. That's what we've established so far, given these reasoning, right? Given this UK Sapphire adoption, 2 large laboratories, to quote the article basically, and commitment to purchase Sapphire and all the many products that come with it, right? Also, the Africa Sapphire adoption, Lineagen acquisition, or Lineagen, however you pronounce it. I like Lineagen better, it just sounds better to me. Chemotherapeutic drug enhancements possible with Sapphire news. These are some things that I didn't really cover in that we didn't really go over in this estimate right here. I should say, yeah, the 2021 auspicious projection. We didn't really cover these reasons right here. Now you may be wondering, why would this be increased revenue? Well, the first one's pretty obvious. They're going to purchase Sapphire and all the many consumables and kits and pigments and everything that comes with it, right? It's a lot of money. It's $150,000 for Sapphire, right? It's a lot of money. And 2 large laboratories, who knows how much added revenue this is going to be. Also, Africa Sapphire adoption. Also, I have the sources right here. Okay, here you go. Here's where I found that, right? They announced the adoption of the Sapphire system for optical genome mapping by 2 large laboratories belonging to the NHS of the United Kingdom. Africa Sapphire adoption, here's this one. There you go. If you want the links, you can go download the document or just go view it. Lineagen as well, which is not necessarily going to be more revenue, but guess what? It will be more revenue compared to quarter 1 2020, which is what a lot of people are going to be wondering as to. Brandon, why are we going to get more than this, right? Quarter 1 may be a bad year for Bionano's history, right? Usually we quarter 1 is our worst quarter, right? We didn't have Lineagen first quarter in 2020 because Lineagen was acquired in August 2020, my friends. They didn't have much time to give us some revenue, but they gave us a lot. They gave us $3 million in revenue in 5 months. in like 5.5 months or a little less than that. You better bet that these guys are going to be making a significant impact and a significant effect on our revenue. I'm not trying to hype it. I'm not trying to get you guys all hyped and say, oh guys, we're going to beat earnings for sure. No, please don't mistake me, my facts here. Most of these are facts, at least, into making you think that we're going to go over my thoughts. Please, before you go and say, Brandon, you're way too bullish, you're misleading a lot of people. I have not even given my thoughts yet, really. Chemotherapeutic drug enhancements possible with Sapphire news. This is just one of the many things, and I only added one in here. I could have added a ton of publications in here that would have taken a long time to do, but this is just one thing that would make a lot of the current Sapphire customers that have a Sapphire, this is one thing that could make them want to continue their business with Sapphire and Bionano. Keep on purchasing the Sapphire and the data, the software updates, the kits, the renewables, the consumables, right? All this stuff they have to get with the Sapphire. This is something that would make those people more likely to continue their Sapphire business. And of course, this was a recent study. This was not, all of these things had not happened before the start of Q1 2021. Another thing to keep in mind, last earnings report was a beat on revenue and a match on earnings per share. So our sales beat the 3.5 million estimate. Keep that in mind. Last quarter we got 4 million in revenue. This quarter they're projecting 2.8 million, even with all of these catalysts, including Lidogen, which is interesting. So my thoughts overall, these things obviously would lead one to believe that we're going to get we're going to get a very nice revenue beat if this estimate does pan out to be the one that they're going to go off of, right? By the time you're seeing this, there may be a pinned comment that I pinned that says, hey, they just updated it, right? Like yesterday, the BlackRock added 3.5 million shares. That happened literally right after I finished editing, right? So worst timing possible. That could happen at any time. And that's why we're going to be making the projections. We will also be making a reflection. And we'll also, obviously, we'll be streaming as well. We will be streaming it. You better bet your ass. I want to see everyone there, by the way, when we stream the earnings live. I need to see the exact estimates, consensus estimate, keyword, where we don't have dissenting sources here, because it's really hard for me to say we're going to beat this when we have other revenue and estimate and EPS estimates here, and it's just not very clear to me, you know. So we'll see. Overall, I think it is likely that we do get a beat if this is going to be the actual consensus revenue estimate. But of course, please do your own DD, okay? You guys already know. I'm so tired of people saying you don't, Brandon, stop it. You are giving bad information. If you think it's bad information, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I'm just a guy talking about stocks, okay? Please. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're offended. I don't care if you hate what I do. I'm going to keep doing it. But I have to say that for just the small amount of people that are a little messed up in the head or retarded, as I like to say. I'd say if this is the revenue estimate, 2.8 million, we are likely to beat it. The earnings per share is a little bit more of a gamble because predicting operating expenses, that's just, the revenue can go up, but if the operating expenses match the proportional rise, it's not going to be an EPS beat, but the revenue will be a beat. And obviously learning curve, flywheel effect, these sort of things, especially with a business that is right. Bionano has been around for a long time, right? Since 2000s, early 2000s, and public company since 2018. But for the Sapphire researchers, the learning curve is going to be definitely playing a large role. And we have several new management members, new high executive important management roles that are there new. And the learning curve is everyone, regardless of how good you are or whatever you do. There's always a learning curve to anything that you do that is new, right? Inherently there is. So these sort of things are going to kind of boost revenue and EPS and maybe lower those operating expenses that we were kind of talking about. But nonetheless, it's hard to say right now. Make sure you stay for the projections and the stream that we're going to do, because everything earnings related for Bionano, I've got you covered. If you would like to read the rest of this document, the 76 page document, now that I added this little part in the bonus Q1, all of this stuff is available for PDF download, document viewing. Everything is available for you, or in auditory form. If you're more of an auditory learner, it's available for you with the video, YouTube chapters, timestamps. Everything is there for you, my friends. Nearly killed myself with this one. Cards, pinned comment, description links. There's going to be several ways for you to find this. Portfolio showcase and price charts. These are the price charts. I want to go over the current positions real quick. Pause it now if you want to see all my portfolio. There you go. That's why I'm the most transparent YouTuber there is. Relevant information in regards to title is finished now. BIOL due diligence. We are doing a partial due diligence for BIOL, maybe a full due diligence, because I was doing this for a little bit and it got to be 4 pages really quickly, and I just thought maybe I do want to do a BIOL full due diligence if you guys would like to see that, sure, let me know if you want to do that. Set your reminder for the BNGO earnings report live stream. Earnings projections is going to be coming as well. That'll be fun. Description. Check the description for auspicious links, my friends. BIOL's due diligence. Let me know. Also, camera. If we have any camera wizards here, I'm definitely not one. Not at all. Tell me what kind of camera you think I should be getting. I've heard. I don't even know what. I did a little bit of research, and it's like way more esoteric than I thought it was going to be. So if there's any camera wizards down there, give me some recommendations if you want. You can email me auspiciousbusiness at yahoo.com, or you can comment. I will probably see it if it's a recent video. If the videos came out like today, I will probably see it. If you comment on the day that I released the video, I will probably see it. Otherwise, just email me, my friend. It's a lot more auspicious. Anyways, this is not financial advice. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all in the next one.